Hey everyone. So I want to talk about working with infants in an infant room. Okay, so I've worked in childcare for 16 years. And those years I spent working with infants in an infant room. So, so I can tell you the things that you should do working with infants. The thing you need to do is when the babies come in the morning, always check. This is one thing some centers do, some don't. Just check the child. Check the child for scratches, bruises. You have some kids that will come in that may be. I haven't had a lot of children that has been abused. I only had one that I can remember, but you know, always check a child or just notice them. Just notice. Make sure you look at their bodies, cause some babies um will come in and some can be abused. That's one of the things you should do in the morning. After that, I could tell you a story I had. One, I'm gonna keep it fast, but I had a little girl that came in. I'm not gonna say her name. It's been over a decade ago, but she came in with a scratch on her. I think it was her hand. So I saw the scratch. Her dad brought her in on a Monday. I think it was. Yeah, it was a Monday because it was over the weekend. It was, weekend had ended. So the scratch had to happen over the weekend. So the dad brought in, set her down, and I noticed the scratch, but I didn't say anything because I thought, okay, I see the scratch on her hand, and so I just assumed that he saw the scratch. And since it happened over the weekend, the mother probably saw the scratch, and everybody else saw the scratch too on the baby. Now this is a baby that's maybe about 6, 7 months old. So, okay. So I didn't say anything about the dad, but I noticed the scratch, but I didn't say anything because I just assumed that, everybody saw this scratch because it's a Monday, the baby come in with a scratch. And they had this baby the whole weekend, so I know someone noticed the scratch. But anyway, this Monday came and went, Tuesday came and went, Wednesday came. The mom calls the center. She's having a fit. She telling the director she gonna come up there and fight me because I scratched her baby. I scratched her baby, and yeah, so she was on the phone saying what she gonna do to me because I scratched her baby. And I was like, wow, really? This baby came in on Monday with a scratch, and if you was really paying attention to your child, you probably would notice your child had a scratch that was already there. So that's why I say notice anything a child come in with. It could be a scratch, it could be a bruise. I had another baby that came in. This happened over 10 years too at the same center that I worked at. The baby came in, was covered in bruises. Some of the bruises were new, some of them was old, but then he was covered in bruises. Make a long story short, the mom made a bunch of excuses to what happened to the baby. She dropped the baby off, went to her new job. And these were bruises you cannot ignore. They were all over his face, all over his legs. So I called the director who wasn't at the center at the time. So she came. She was like, "What's going on?" I told her. I showed her the baby. I said, "Look." She said, "Oh my God." So she got a picture. She got her phone, took pictures. DHR, Department of Human Resources, were called. They came out. They stripped this baby down, put him on a change table, took all his clothes, told me to take all his clothes off, took his diaper off. They took pictures of this baby's entire body. He was covered in bruises. He had bruises that were so old that I didn't even know they were bruises. I thought they were like one was so old I thought it was a birthmark because I could not tell. The DHR lady knew it was a bruise, but I did not know it was an old bruise. I just thought it looked like a birthmark. She said, yeah, that's a bruise. He was 7 months old and he had been being abused probably since he was born. But that day, DHR came. They removed him. They told me, they said, get his diapers, get his wipes, get his clothes, just get his stuff together. I said, okay, got it, stuck it in a bag. And his mom came there crying, in the office, making these excuses, saying it was a little boy that did it, the neighbor, and then it changed to her new boyfriend was wrestling with him, or he fell off the bed, a bunch of excuses. So he was taken to DHR, to foster care, and that was the last time I saw that boy. I don't know where he went, how long he stayed in DHR custody. I don't know if his mom was arrested, but this happened over 10 years ago, so it's been over a decade ago now. So yeah, this is why I say you have to pay attention to the babies when they come in. It's sad, but yeah, babies, infants can be abused. And you got to, protect yourself, watch over yourself, because like I told you, the little girl came in with a scratch and they tried to blame me for the scratch. When, she came in, her dad put her down, and I noticed the scratch when he put her down. So just kind of be careful when dealing with babies, because they can't talk. You can't look at a 6-week or 6-month-old and say, what happened to your hand? You can say that. You can ask a 3-year-old that, and they can say, oh, I got this scratch at home. But you can't say that to a 6-month-old. You can't ask, them. So you just got to be very careful working with infants. Watch yourself, because, you have some parents, they are just unhappy, and they will do anything they can to make your life miserable, even though you're taking care of their children. So that's one thing you should do when you first get a child for the day, And when you see the scratch or the bruise, of course, you see bruises, you need to call DHR. But if it's a scratch, you need to make it known. When you see the scratch, and a parent there says, oh, I see she has a scratch, or he has a scratch. Let the parent know right then. That's my mistake. Well, I didn't know that. I wasn't taught that. This is something I learned throughout the years. But if you see when a parent bring a child, you notice a bruise, or you notice something on the child, just say something in front of the parent. Say, oh, I see he has a bruise, or he has a boo-boo, or she has a scratch, or or whatever. And if you don't notice it until the parent leave, make sure you let the director know, or write it down. Say, when the child came in, I noticed a scratch, or a bruise, or whatever the child may have. Okay, so this is infant one. When you get your child for the day, the infant child, next thing you need to do after you do this, change the babies when they come in, because a lot of times parents are rushing in the morning. Sometimes the babies may not be changed. They may get up. The parents might wake up early, and they may change the baby at 6:30. So the baby come in at 8:30 or 9. It's time for the baby to be changed again. So the baby need to be changed. So when they come in, they should be in a dry diapers. Babies need to be changed every 2 hours. They all need to be changed every 2 hours. Some may need to be changed more than that. You may have babies that might wet every hour. That's rare, but I've seen that. And if the child has diarrhea, that child needs to be changed every hour. If the child's not going home. If the child has bad diarrhea, they need to go home. But just say if the child is still at the center, the child needs to be changed every time they have diarrhea. Instant home. It's getting kind of confusing. The child need to be changed every hour if they have a diaper rash. That's why I think I'm getting them mixed up a little bit. If the child has a diaper rash, the child need to be changed every hour. Cream need to be applied. Parents need to bring cream. I honestly think the best cream is AD ointment. AD ointment is the best. Me personally, that's just my opinion. Some people might think desiccatin is the best, and some people might think butt paste is the best. I think Andy ointment is the best from experience. But yeah, so diaper rash change every hour. Regular diaper change every 2 hours, or if needed, every hour if needed. But 2 hours is the minimum. A baby shouldn't be in a diaper for 4 or 5 hours. They should be changed at least 5 times a day, at least 4 or 5 times a day. It depends on how long they're there, but every 2 hours. All right, and that's it. I will start another video on the infant daily. When the babies come in for the day, when they come in from the day, how the day should start. So, I'm gonna have to think of some other stuff to do. There's a lot of stuff. So, anyway, this is part 1, the morning routine, I would say. All right, bye-bye.